of the school year, start of the college semesters, just weeks away at this point. It's going to have a lot of people thinking in financial terms, sometimes dire financial terms. A lot of young people around the country wind up racking up so much debt when there are a few simple things you can do to at least work that down, if not prevent it overall. Joining me now is Mike Tadone from Connecticut Wealth Management in Farmington to give us some ideas on preventing debt when you're at college. And of course, we're going to talk also about the parents of young ones starting to save for college. But Mike, first of all, for the students who are at college already, you have some important tips, one of them being credit cards, no.
Absolutely, Jim. You know, college students don't generally have a regular source of income like most of us do, so to pay that debt back, it's easy to rack it up.
Yeah.
We all know that. To pay it back is very, very difficult. They just don't have the income stream to do it.
Well, I think it's worth noting that, most people in general really have trouble handling credit cards, as you well know.
Absolutely.
So college students, most of all.
Right.
And of course, they're racking up debt through student loans as
Yes.
well, something that
Yes.
has become a major college issue. So we'll talk about saving in just a little bit so you can try to avoid getting swamped that way. But one of the things that you pointed out that I didn't even know is that you need to check your college bill in an itemized way, like it's a medical bill almost, because they may be offering you health insurance you don't need.
Yes, many of the universities and colleges just add it to the bill, and the student needs to go into their account and opt out of the health insurance. And it can be thousands of dollars.
I did not know that.
Yes.
I mean, when I went to college, was I getting health insurance?
I hope not.
Yeah.
I hope we weren't paying for it.
I'm going to make a wild guess that that's a profit item for colleges, that they make more money off that than they lay out.
Maybe, but in some cases where families may not have the ability to get health insurance, it might be a benefit to some of the students. So it could be a good thing too.
But at least look at it.
Absolutely.
And look at what your tuition is comprised of
Yes.
in total. All right, let's talk about saving for college before the kids get to be 17, 18 years old. What are the important points to remember?
I think most important is start early. I have some personal experience in this. I have 2 children in college right now, and I did start early. And when those bills came, it was good to have the money there.
Can you define early for us?
As early as possible. I mean, we have clients and their grandparents of children start right when the child is born. Right when they're born, they will open up, instead of giving the child a gift, they'll open a 529 plan, which is a great savings vehicle for college savings.
How do you, obviously you go to firms like yours, because this gets a little bit technical. This isn't stuff that the layman can always understand. How do you find out about savings vehicles like this? Again,
I think there are, like any field, there are experts out there that can help you navigate the landscape of doing this, because there are many, many different ways to achieve the savings goal for college, 529s again being one of those vehicles, but there are others.
You also say that there are grants available, but you got to do your research. You really got to dig. In fact, everything we're talking about here, you really got to look into it. This is work. That's correct, and there are many, many grants and scholarships out there for students, even now, as we discussed, before they start school, so you have freshmen going into school, but also once they get to the college or university, especially in their particular department. So if you're a business major, check with the business department, whatever, because they're out there and they can be significant. We're going to take a look here at some of the things we're talking about here. Mike, use the Connecticut 529 savings plan, grandparents' contribution, which you mentioned before. Right. There are the Roth IRA. There are tax benefits there for the grandparents. That's correct, especially on the 529s, yes. As well, and as we said, research scholarships, research grants. We have a little bit of extra time here, so let's talk about this matter of student debt. It's become a national issue. President Obama, in that wide-ranging press conference, actually mentioned it yesterday. It turns into a sort of a form of indentured servitude for a lot of people. It's a big question within a short amount of time to answer it, but how can a student or student-to-be avoid finding themselves in this situation? And I think, again, it goes back to planning ahead. Debt for college is really a result of not having enough once you start. So really just plan ahead to try to avoid that. Again, I don't think college students realize when they get out of school that has to be paid back, and it's a significant amount of money. And that interest adds up. It sure does. All right, thank you so much for joining us.